Carmelo Anthony to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Knicks own.
Yeah.
2025 first ballot. Let's talk a little Melo. Let's reminisce. He's been unbelievable. Shout out our guy Kaz, who does great work, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
With Melo at the moment. Knicks legend. Let's just talk Melo's career out the gate. What does he mean to New York? What does he mean to basketball? And then let's just get into some of our favorite Carmelo Anthony moments here as he passes the torch to Cayenne, who I think is going to be a great pro, by the way.
He's got the genes. There's no doubt
about
that.
Got the Melo confidence, too.
The Melo confidence.
But, yeah, I mean, Melo, he comes in a fascinating time in the sport and has to have kind of the shadow of LeBron. But, boy, does Melo hold his own. And what could have been, I heard so many rumors that he was supposed to be Chris Bosh down there in the 305 and would have won all those rings. But comes into the NBA with a Syracuse natty, one of the most decorated scorers in the NBA. But floor is yours, my friend. Talk to me about
Bosh
Melo.
Fits so much better than Melo does. I don't even know if that turns into the success that it was.
2 and 2 and 4.
Yeah, it's interesting. Bosh was the perfect fit. He was the perfect third guy.
So ideal
for that squad. So we won't rewrite history there, but Melo had an unbelievable career. Pure hooper's hooper.
Yeah. Great way to put it.
To win the natty at Syracuse. This is the thing about all this stuff is it's so hard coming in with all that pressure. Like Flag perfect. He didn't do it.
No.
Melo came in as the guy. He goes to Syracuse, wins the title. They continue to roll. He rolls right into the league and makes an impact as a rookie.
Immediately.
And he makes an impact in the league for the next 12 to 15 years after that. Pure physical, offensive basket.
Basket. And I guess in the 00s, and I was actually an NBA Live guy before 2K, he would talk to me about maybe even just Chicago. You know how they were like growing up, everyone wanted the Iverson kicks or the T-Mac kicks. But then I felt at some point everyone either wanted the Melo, the Melo headband or the armband. Like he just had so much swag.
Yeah, he was fun to watch. It was a beautiful brand of offensive hoops.
Yeah,
it was fundamentals mixed in with raw talent. Jab step, triple threat.
Well said.
Can put it on the deck. Pump fake would go up. Was a lot. People don't remember how physical he was at the basket.
We're not allowed. I don't know if we're allowed to say his famous term when he grabs a rebound.
I got it. Give me that. I got it. He would go look at Melo on Denver at the basket.
Yeah.
Physical. Move people out of the way.
What was your favorite Melo? Because there were a few renditions.
Yeah,
because that Western Conference Finals team with Bill, once he finally got Chauncey, he finally got a point guard.
That was the best version of Melo.
Think so?
He was unbelievable then, yeah.
Yeah, the 2 times he got a point guard, and even on the Knicks with Jay Kidd, his game elevated.
Yeah, he was awesome. The Knicks Melo was great because the lights were so bright, and he made a little bit of noise when he was here. He never had the supporting cast that he really needed. Was
he the first Jordan athlete? I think he might have been the first jump man.
Maybe, actually.
Well, just his branding. I mean, it's crazy. It's like now, I even just was saying, you type in Melo, you got to deal with LaMelo and the balls now. But like Melo, his nickname, his aura in the era of Amir Khan aura. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, one. Listen, there was a time where if you were shooting mid-range jumpers at the park, you were saying Melo before you said Kobe.
Wow.
Like he had that staple. Like that was his game. It was solidified. Kobe was a lot more dynamic in a lot of different ways. Melo, you knew what he was going to do. You knew what he was about, and you couldn't do anything with it. Led the league in scoring. So,
and in a league and in a league, they always go back to the banana boat buddies. He had no interest in joining forces, and he got a lot of flack for not winning enough basketball. Yet, in that era, all he did was want to remain the one on every team and try to get a ring. Any thoughts on George Karl and his interesting, I guess we'll call it, dynamic relationship? Did you think his era in Denver was stifled at all by by Georgie
Yeah, it
Boy,
didn't
who continues to chirp on Twitter well into his retirement.
Yeah, they go. Yeah, yeah.
He is barking on the bird.
Yeah, it's tough because you just always need more help than you realize as a superstar. I think fans don't realize that as well. You need a lot of help to win the title.
Yeah.
It's just very, very difficult. Like, go back and look at Jordan, look at Magic, look at Bird.
Remember that?
Those guys had a lot of help.
I know. Remember that Nuggets team? They were so tatted up. Everyone wanted. It was Birdman. It was JR. It was Kenyon Martin.
Yeah.
It was Melo. They were so tatted up. They were just swagged out that nobody. And this was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know when tats in the NBA became a thing, but I feel like that Nuggets team, when I think about my childhood, man, they were a vibe.
The tats against like the silk Nuggets. Remember the silk era of jerseys?
Yeah,
it's true.
Well, and Melo reminds me of the he rocked the basketball shorts by the knees, right?
Well, everybody did at that time. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but he never conformed. I feel like at some point
his was still pretty long. The years after that, for sure.
Yeah.
But one thing that I always hold in very high regard is the scoring title. All NBA, even the first team is 5 dudes. All-Star, there's what? Almost 15 guys? 13 guys that are all-stars? Only one guy led the league in scoring. And if you're a true offensive guy, like an all-timer, and you have that in the cupboard, I think that's really special, and Melo has one of those.
Any particular Melo moment stick out to you?
To this day, it was against the Bulls, so that's why it sticks out.
Oh, game winner.
Christmas, rattling the 3 after he went bonkers in the 4th.
You have 2 in that particular game from 3.
The
bonkers.
That game was crazy, so that really sticks out just because it's a national
on that.
TV
Sean,
game.
I know you said Chris. I think you're mixing up holiday. I think it was Easter because it was on this day, April 8th, as we record. In 2012, was he hit 2 back-to-back threes to beat the Bulls.
It was Easter.
It's an iconic Mike Breen bang call.
Is it the green headband game, right?
It could be 2 games.
He's wearing a green headband.
Well, the green headbands for Christmas, so then maybe it was 2 different games. But,
wow, he did that to the Bulls twice.
But yeah, it's an all-time Mike Breen caller.
Yeah.
It's in both their highlight reels, you know.
Yeah.
But.
So Melo, special guy, and it's special when you win, or you lead the league in scoring. Not many guys have done it. If you go through the list, it's Mike, it's Durant, it's Iverson, it's Melo.
But he did it in a more physical era with hand checks.
It's a real special.
No, you made a good point about how physical he was, because it was a lot more physical in the 2000s. I got to go with probably the 62 at the Garden against Charlotte, setting the record.
Yeah, that's
at
special.
the Garden, setting the record for the Knicks at the time. It's a great time of life, too, 2014. A little bit of tech, not too much tech.
A little bit of tech, not too much tech.
Good times.
Hold on,
man.
I want to pull
Carmelo
up this
Anthony.
lift.
And he joins Danny Crawford, Billy Donovan, Dwight Howard.
So, for example, these are the guys that led the league in scoring. Last year, Luka. Then it's Joel Embiid, back-to-back years. Steph Curry, Harden, 3 years in a row. You have to be a special dude offensively to lead the league in scoring 3 years in a row. James Harden did that with the Rockets. Then it's Russell Westbrook. He's done it twice. I didn't realize he did it twice with Oklahoma City. But Steph Curry, Melo, Durant. Durant's done it. He did 3 out of 4 years from 2009 to 2014. Special scores. D. Wade, LeBron. LeBron's only done it once, but LeBron has that in his hat. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So just special guys on that specific list. Because you could go through all-star teams and be like, that dude made the all-star team. You go through the league leaders in scoring, first ballot, blue chip, legends.
Before we get out of here, any thoughts on Olympic Melo, who played a
3 straight
key
golds.
role in a Coach K-led Olympic club?
Yeah, when guys weren't signing up, Melo was, no matter what.
Well said.
It wasn't about...
Wasn't he the one, too, I believe, when they all learned that Kobe was already getting workouts in before practice I think it might have been in Beijing, Melo might have been the first guy to join him on the pre-practice workouts to set the tone.
Yeah, man.
Nice to see. I know he had a special relationship with Kobe.
Certain guys move other guys in the league. It's talked about that with LeBron, like especially during 2020 Black Lives Matter. The rest of the league kind of looked at Bron like, if you play, we'll play. If you don't play, we won't play. There's one of those things where Melo was signing up, and I think he got a lot of guys to join in on the Redeem team and keep that streak going. When a couple eggs fall, and it's like, we're not worried about Team USA or any of that. So Melo was always around for that, so that's special.
You know, I kind of want to speak to that a little bit. You know, I'm the Knicks fan in this room. Grew up with it. You know, I remember when Melo came here, and it was this buy-in factor. You know, it was, you know, when I was a young kid, for most of that time, the Knicks weren't great. Now we have a superstar wanting to be here, wanting to buy in. So it meant a lot to us. Maybe we don't have the banners to show for it, but we had a guy that wanted to be here. And that's why we embrace the guys today, like a Brunson, a Hart, who want to be here, who want to be in.
Yeah, well said. Without question. Melo wanted to be here. No Stoudemire here without Melo here first. And, yeah, to your point, Ben, I mean, Brunson probably wanting to be here in a way that Melo set the tone for when he was a kid. And that's, to put a button on it for me, not easy to be in. He wasn't in LeBron's shadows, but because they were the same draft class and LeBron went to the league and he went to Syracuse, I mean, it's a lot of pressure to be like with the king and the chosen one. You're going at the same time, and he did a great job staying true to him. Branding 101. Also love him and AI together when AI went to Denver. That was fun too.
Yeah, of course, no doubt. Shout out Melo, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, much love.
Appreciate you guys watching the Juice Bar Weekly. In the description below, go lock in, subscribe. Anywhere you find your audio podcast, the Juice Bar will be on there. iTunes, Spotify, across the board. Lock in. Tell a homie to tell a friend. The Juice Bar's live everywhere.